John, you're one of a very few, or a very small group of American men to ever win an event 5 times. I know you love playing in the States, especially love playing in Georgia. What does that mean to you, just being able to reach that milestone?
Yeah, of course, I had no idea that I joined, I guess, such an exclusive list, but I think Pete's on that list because he won a lot of Wimbledons, so that would have been. But look, that tournament's very near and dear to me. I've played it every single year, and I've made the finals 8 times, and so on top of winning it 5 times. So,
hi, John. You're known for some particularly long matches. What do you do to be able to keep yourself mentally sharp? How do you get yourself through those long matches?
I think it's not as difficult as some people may think. Because if you're talking about my match last month or a few weeks ago at Wimbledon, it's the semifinals of Wimbledon. It's very. I think the moment in itself gets you mentally jacked up and physically jacked up, and adrenaline takes over, and that can sort of mask a lot of things, mask a lot of mental fatigue and physical fatigue. So, there's 2 really long matches in particular that I played. At both come at Wimbledon. It's the mecca of tennis. So, I think it's very easy to get jacked up and ready to play and a big event like that.
Being one of the tallest guys on tour, do you ever think you have an advantage with your serve being on hard court?
Yeah, totally. I have a huge advantage on any court, not just hard court. So that's it's my best shot. It's the biggest advantage from being so tall. There are some disadvantages for sure, but you can argue half of the time. I have a pretty big advantage over my opponent, and that's when I'm serving. So,
Hey, John. Results-wise, this would appear to be one of, if not your best season on tour. Does it feel that way to you? And if so, what's gone into that?
Yeah, well, it does feel that way. I've had a lot of very good years the last 8 years, but I think this year I've been more consistent with my results, and it really started in Indian Wells when I won the doubles title with Jack. And because prior to that I was 1 win and 6 losses on the year, so I started off the year very poorly, but was able to win the doubles event with Jack and get that winning feeling back, which is, you can't really replicate it, so just, even though it was doubles, throughout that whole tournament, Jack and I shook our opponent's hands, and we were the winner every time, so we ended up winning that tournament, and I took that momentum and carried it into Miami, and that's when really my singles season started. And I think, to my credit, I've kept my foot on the gas pedal since Miami. I didn't really take a huge sigh of relief or a big deep breath or anything like that. I kept working and kept putting my head down and just going to work, and I've been playing well ever since.
Real quick, you don't have a long history on the doubles side, do you?
No, I stink at doubles. Just Jack's really, really good at doubles, and he carried me. I have a really big serve, which helps, and if I make a return or 2, that might help.
John, can you talk about how you're expecting the courts to play out here, and how is the unpredictable weather going to affect the courts and the play of the games through this week here in Washington?
Yeah. Well, my only practice was today. The courts to me seem pretty gritty, which I prefer. I think a lot of times people assume I prefer playing on fast courts, and I don't. I actually prefer playing on a slower surface because I like my serve on any surface, and then the flip side of that is I get more time to hit my shot. So I love the surface here. Everything about this tournament, it has a great feel to it, and a great feel for me personally. I'm very, very comfortable here. And the weather, everyone's looked at the radar. There's rain each of the next 4 days potentially, so it could be tough. We've all played late matches here. And my fingers are crossed, just like everyone else, for no rain. Because it's no fun for the players, and it's especially no fun for the fans if there's rain like this. So, you just got to, in a situation like that, whoever deals with it the best, whoever doesn't get frustrated and doesn't mind playing at 2 in the morning, sometimes, most of the time, ends up the winner of this event.
You've kind of grown up in front of our eyes here at City Open 2007. You just blew everybody away until the final, sorry. And now you come back and semifinal at Wimbledon, and you're married, and you're expecting a child, and how has it been? I mean, have you? I guess one of my interest is has marriage and that settled you down? Has it let you focus more or be more of who you are as a tennis player on court?
No, it's definitely settled me down. It's I think it's made me worry less about tennis, because a lot of times it's been it's consumed me the last 6, 7, 8 years, because it was the most important thing I had going, but now it's not, and I think it definitely takes some pressure off of me in a sense, and my most important thing is now starting a family and raising a very nice, polite daughter with my wife. So that's number one on my list. And tennis is really just secondary. Of course, I want to do this very well. It's super important to me, but there are some more important things going on in my life, and I think that's helped my tennis game for sure. Hope that answered your question.
John, we got 40 or so kids over here who are looking up to you. So who did you look up to? Who was your tennis inspiration? And what advice would you give kids who want to play professional tennis?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was lucky to grow up in an era that maybe you guys didn't really see these players play, like Jim Courier, Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi. These are some of the, Michael Chang. These are some of the, Jimmy Arias. These are some of the greatest tennis players ever, and they were all American. So for me, growing up, when I was y'all's age, these guys were always on TV playing in the finals of big events. And so for me to see that was always a very big inspiration to me, because I was playing a lot of tennis at your age, and I was enjoying it. And I think that's the most important thing. And of course, when you see on TV, you want to put yourself in that position. You want to be there. But I think the most important thing that you kids need to accomplish is to keep having fun on the tennis court at your age. That's the most important thing. Don't worry about the results so much in your tournaments and your matches. Of course you want to win and you want to compete hard, but you want to have fun with it and just let your game grow at its own pace. I'm 33 right now, and I'm playing my best tennis ever. So I think it's very important to be patient with yourself, and most importantly, have fun.
Okay, my first question is, do you play Fortnite?
Oh. I'm going to disappoint you. I've never played it. And I'm kind of glad I don't, because I hear it's very time consuming, and I have other things to focus on. But I know a lot of the guys that I'm playing against do play Fortnite.
Okay, our second question is, who's your greatest rival in this tournament?
In this tournament? That's a good... Well, I like to think I'm friends with everyone on tour, so rivalries, we all get along very well. I think the one person that we're all, in a sense, chasing is the number one seed, Alex Zverev. So, he's the favorite here, and rightfully so. So I think everyone is sort of trying to go after him, because he's also the defending champion and he's the highest ranked player at this tournament.